I always wanted to try new things, and macro photography wasn't for me. I am sure it wasn't because I tried it in the past, especially when I started in photography like 20 years ago, and I actually own a macro lens for my Nikon camera. Though I didn't enjoy it much, my photos didn't look bad at all. For me, macro, it's getting close to the subject, it's being in the subject's soul and see through it. And I believe that it's not for everyone. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of skill, and I might not have that skill. But being in these kind of situations that we are right now, I think that that will help me improve my skills. And because I'm shooting weddings, and from time to time people are considering weddings to be an all-around in photography. They're putting more genres into one: macro photography, portrait photography, street photography, photojournalism, and so on and so forth. So I avoided macro photography, though I was shooting weddings, and most of my close-up shots I usually shoot with the 70-200 or an 85 1.8 or an 135 f2, because those are the ones that give you the depth of field and just isolate the subject better. But now, today, I decided to go buy these two macro rings or close-up rings, whatever they're called, and put them on my Fuji cameras and try to do some macro photography. And I wanted to bring you with me and show you, if you want to start and practice with this genre, what you can do, how this works. And that being super cheap, I only paid like $20 or something like that. You can have these ones for any camera, any mount, any lens. The longer the lens, the better, because these rings are actually glass-less, meaning that they don't have glass inside. They don't do anything to your lens. They don't change the image quality or anything else. The only thing that you should look for is something that it's super solid, super sturdy. The mount should be metal, so it stays good on your camera, because these are meant to be shot on longer lenses. Not necessarily it's a bad thing if you're using it on a wide lens, but you should be very close to the subject. What they do is to move your back glass, back element on your lens a little bit further from the sensor and allow you to focus a little bit closer than normal. But they will definitely impair you of focusing on a longer distance. So these are not meant to be always on your camera, only when you're shooting macro. That's why I said it's better to have a longer lens, because that will help you be a little bit further from the subject and not just into it. So let's put this to practice and see how it goes. Okay guys, so as you can see, the setup is already done. I do have my XT3 with the 50-140. Like I said, a good lens, a longer lens will help you be a little bit farther away from the subject. They're probably 3.5 inches in between, but it's definitely closer than I would get with the 50-140 without the macro rings. So this is the setup that I'm using right now. Keep in mind that you have to use a tripod, especially if you're shooting at like higher shutter speeds. And even if you don't, it's good to have a tripod for more steadier shots. I'm shooting f11 at 1.3 of a second right now, and ISO as low as possible, which is the lowest on XT3. It's 80. So I'm trying to get as good as a detail as I can. If you're shooting on Fuji cameras, you know that pressing the back dial is gonna give you a closer look to help you focus, and I'm doing that right now. I'm gonna change the focus. I'm not sure if you can tell on the back of my camera, but the depth of field, it's super thin, though I'm shooting f11. Also, don't forget to put your camera on timer and shoot at least 2 seconds. For me, it's gonna be a bit strange because I'm on this carpet and it moves when I'm stepping. If I'm moving, it's gonna move a little bit, and that will make a little bit of blurriness in my photos. Hopefully it won't happen. 1, 2, 3, and here is the photo. Okay, the next object, we're gonna shoot these headphones that I used to use before I bought the anchors that I was telling you about in my previous video. Let's adjust the tripod and see. Apparently they're a little bit too closer to the subject. Yeah, so we'll be around here. Let's see if we can refocus. Okay, it's a bit tedious, like I said. That's why probably I didn't like it that much, but nonetheless, it's a good thing that you can learn all this stuff. Even f11, this depth of field is super thin. You should be very careful when you're focusing. Let's try something with that beautiful Minolta lens. There it is, and let's shoot this one. Now let's try some on the numbers on the lens, because that is super exciting to shoot. It's not macro quality, but definitely it's good for practicing and learning. Let's put some lights on this one. I think they'll look good, look more vintage. The lights will help. I can just shoot the photo and just move the light a little bit on the camera and get a good shot of it. Yeah, it looks a little bit more vintage. You can double with the profiles, you can change the white balance. Nonetheless, there's so many things that you can do with macro photography and create amazing photos. You can use lights, colored lights, RGBs, or whatever you guys have. Let's try this fun Despicable Me keychain and see how it looks. 1, 2, 3. Let's take another shot. There it is. Okay guys, this is pretty much it for today. Hopefully this lesson taught you something about macro photography, or maybe it taught me something, because I'm pretty much like you. If you don't know anything about macro photography, you're learning, and that's a good thing. That's why we have this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like these videos. If you do, give them a thumbs up, it helps a lot. Share them with your friends, so let's build this community and let's make this channel grow and have photography more than gear. Have fun times around here, and I will definitely see you soon.